Botswana. That is a country in South Africa, in the center of South Africa. And it has 4 neighboring countries. Namibia, also around at the top. Zambia, a 150-meter long border with Zambia through the Zambezi River. And then Zimbabwe, and then South Africa. And in this book, some things are said about it. The book is from 1978. So maybe some things are outdated. For example, as you said, with the country next to it, in the east is Rhodesia, which is today Zimbabwe. Now, there are 600,000 people living in the 1970s, and it has a size of around 800 times 800 kilometers, 600,000 square kilometers. The capital is Gaborone, and the people there are Botswana, and they are speaking Bantu, and there are 3 major groups. The names of them are somewhat like Bangwaketse and Bangwakese and Bakwese. Now, what is elsewhere? There's the Kalahari Desert, and that is quite big in the country, and that is not good ground to make agriculture. Only 0.2% of the country are farmed. And in the south, where the Kalahari Desert is, where it rains only around 15 centimeters a year. In the east, where the most people are living, there it is up to half a meter. Shope and Mahoreni were national parks with many animals. And the country had in the 1970s a great reliance on meat export and production from cattle. The book is saying in the 1970s 3 times as many cattle as people living there. And that changed a bit when more extraction of minerals was done. Already started here when the book was written in the 60s, 70s. At Opera, there is diamond mining in the center east. And at Selebi Pekwi, there is nickel and copper. And at Palipai, there is coal mining done. What is elsewhere? And there is a railway. There goes the Bulawayo Cape Town Railway through, I guess from further in the north, from the Bulawayo to Cape Town in Africa, through the east of the country. And it goes through. Therefore is also trading done with Zimbabwe. In 1885, it was declared a British protectorate, Buchanana land. And it became an independent as the Republic of Botswana in 1965. And the first president was Sir Seretse Khama. And there's not much surface water, only the Okavango swamp in the north, in the Okavango basin. According to the Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, Book 3, Part 23, Nations and Places, written by Monica Beckinsale, Robert Beckinsale, Harold Blackmore, D.J. Dwyer, Keith Lai, Stuart and Nancy McMillan, R.E.H. Miller, Kevin Rafferty, D.H. Sinclair, Arthur Spencer, G. R. Sterry, James Waltersey and Kenneth Wharton on the pages 1135 and 1136, all written in the year 1978. The positions and views expressed are the ones of the source and not necessarily aligned with my own or with ones of the entities power. Hi, welcome. I'm trying to learn international studies today, Botswana, and after we've done that, we're gonna do neck stretching, and if you participate in the neck stretching, then it's at your own risk. And the book is from 1978, so everything written about Botswana is from 1978. Botswana, this arid country, formerly the British Protectorate of Bechuana land, has nearly 3 times as many cattle as people. Okay, it is there in South Africa. At the south of Africa, not in South Africa, at the south of Africa. Okay. It is an arid country, and it was for some time Bechuana land, the British Protectorate. And there are more cattle, so cows and, not heifers, cows and cattle than humans. However, exploitation of minerals, especially diamonds, is diversifying the economy. So less dependent on the economy, but also on mineral extraction. Botswana's undulating, I don't know what undulating means. Undulating plateau of crystalline rocks is 600 to 1,200 meters above sea level. Okay, there is a plateau which has that height, or that one layer of that plateau has that height, the crystals for the minerals. In fertile Kalahari sands mask about 84% of it, but the underlying rocks reach the surface in the east. Okay, Kalahari Desert. Okay. The Kalahari Desert is a place in Botswana. Botswana's undulating plateau of crystalline rocks is 600 to 1,200 meters above sea level. Infertile. Kalahari sands mask about 85% of it, but the underlying rocks reach the surface in the east. I think they mean that in the east can be agriculture done, and the crystalline part is where the agriculture can be done. Everywhere where the Kalahari Desert is, it can't be done, and only if it is on the height between 600 and 1,200 meters, agriculture can be done, and that is only in the east of the country. Okay, let's just go on. Temperatures average 27 to 38 degrees, so that's a lot. The unreliable rainfall averages 15 centimeters a year in the south and half a meter in the east, where most of the inhabitants live. Much of the Kalahari is covered by dry grass and acacia thorn scrub, which merges into wooded savanna in the north. Bare sands occur in the southwest parts from the Okavango swamp. There's little surface water. Okay, little surface water, just the Okavango Basin and the Okavango swamp in the north, and very hot little rain, dry grass, acacia, thorn scrub, and wooded savanna. Game around the plateau. Is that an animal or plant? Game around the plateau and the national parks such as those at Shop and Moremi are well stocked. Shop is in the north. Okay, something. Because of poor soils and unreliable rainfall, only 0.2% of land is cultivated. So 99.8% of the country is not cultivated for agriculture. The chief food crops grown. How much is the population? 700,000. The size is 600,000 square kilometers. Let's take it as an example. We have Brazil, that is very big. Okay, 8 million. Have something similar. Bulgaria, 100,000 square kilometers. So it's 6 times as big as Bulgaria. Bolivia, we have 1 million square kilometers. So a little 2/3 of the size of Bolivia. How big is it now? Let's calculate it. 600,000 square kilometers. That is 600,000 times 1 kilometer. Or 60,000 times 10 kilometers. Or 6,000 times 100 kilometers. That is big. Or 3,000 times 200. Or 1,500 times 400. Okay, it's a big country. But how big? Still annoyed. Canada is big. It doesn't work. Canada is much too big. 7,000? No. 9 million. You're 10 million. We have no measurement. There's a measurement. We have a measurement. So there are 400 kilometers, 800 kilometers times 800 kilometers. So 600 times 600 kilometers. Okay. And 99.8% are not. So it is. That is why I'm looking it up, not because of the size. Because there are just 700,000 people living in a size of 600 times 600 kilometers. So that 99.8% is not cultivated. Might be a lot, but not too much a lot. It has with 600 times 600 kilometers half the size or something of France or almost of Spain or Italy or Britain or Germany, but it has just a 50th of the people living there. Okay, 0.2% of the country is cultivated, which all in the 1970s, but more than 2 or 3 doesn't have changed. The chief food crops grown are maize, millet, and sorghum, whatever it is, sorghum. Maize, millet, and sorghum are made. Most of the people live by cattle farming, and meat production accounted for 72% of exports in 1968. So it was very much doing cattle, and then more minerals. And these cattle were, for example, in 1968, 70%. In 1971, however, a major diamond mine opened at Orapa. That is in the middle. Copper and nickel are mined at Celebi, Degree, and open cast coal mining has begun near Pelapai. That is also there in the Middle East. By 1973, mineral exports were worth 66% of those from farming. So that means half of the, or a third of the economy. So 1/3 is cattle, 1/3 minerals, and 1/3 something else. Now 66% is 2/3. So it's 1/4 and half and quarter. Around there. Some light industries are developing, but Botswana has to import its machinery, transport equipment, iron and steel, crude oil, and also cereals and sugar. Okay, it is a landlocked country and it has to import. I don't really get it. It has just a population of 700,000. All the towns are in the east. There's nothing in the west. There's no town where the Kalahari Desert is. So maybe it's not that big if half of a country is the Kalahari Desert. No. The railway in the east is part of the Bulawayo-Cape Town line and carries the Rhodesian trade. Rhodesia is in the northeast. And from there with the Bulawayo-Cape Town railway things abroad. About 29,000 Botswanans work in South Africa and Rhodesia. That is a lot, but 5% of the population are working in South Africa and Rhodesia. Botswana belongs to the South African Customs Union. Okay, a union in South Africa between different countries. Botswana's population is doubling about every 30 years. So it could have doubled onto 1.5 million or something, or 2 million. Most of the people belong to one of the 8 branches of the Tswana Bantu-speaking group, the largest being the Bamangwato, Bangwaketese, and Bakwena. About 10,000 Bushmen live in the Kalahari. They are nomadic hunters. Okay. Most people are part of the 8 branches, which are the language Bantu speaking, or Tswana Bantu, and they are, the biggest one are Bamangwato, Bangwaketese, and Bakwena. Other minorities include some 3,500 Eurafricans and 3,400 Europeans. So 1% of the population, or 0.5%, each of them. About 80% of the people are illiterate. Okay, illiterate. Britain declared a protectorate over Bechuanaland in 1885. The South Africans wanted the territory, but in 1966 it became the independent Commonwealth Republic of Botswana with Sir Seretse Khama as its first president. English is the official language. So they're saying that in the year 1978, when the book was written, Botswana was a British protectorate. Is it a protectorate? The South Africans wanted the territory. So 1885, it became a British protectorate. Or it was declared a British protectorate. And South Africans wanted the territory, the people from South Africa in the south of the country. But in 1966, it became the independent, Botswana became the independent Commonwealth Republic of Botswana. Okay, so it is an independent country. It could be part of the Commonwealth, but it is independent. Commonwealth Republic of Botswana with Sir Seretse Khama as its first president. English is the official language, but it is maybe not the same now, the books from 1978, but it is an independent country. Part of a Commonwealth, maybe still, maybe not, and it has, maybe has, the English as official language, and the first president of the independent country, Botswana, was Seretse Khama. Okay, we read it. If you are here for international studies, you can go directly to the next part of international studies, where we try to make a presentation and say what we read there about Botswana. If you stay here and participate in the next stretching, wenn es wieder hier rum ist. Good and stable stand, reef and reach to the side. Out and down. In and reach in front. High up and back. Arms to the side, circle it around. Change. Arms down. And the feet are standing together. Intertwine the fingers behind the back. Tall up, shoulders back, breathe in. Let's do another exercise first. The feet are standing a bit apart. Tall up, shoulders back, breathe in. Out, bring the head over to one shoulder. And the chin down to the shoulder. Breathe in, lift the gaze. And turn the head over to the other side. Breathe again in. Out, chin down to the shoulder. In, lift the gaze. Back into the middle. Over to one side again. Breathe out and circle over. Breathe in. Out and circle back. Back into the middle. Now have the feet standing together. Now what's not? First number. Palms together, elbows together, breathe in, reach high. Out and down. In and up. Out and down. One elbow in, take the hands, in, reach high. Out, look down. Change. Another time. In, reach high. Out, look down. Release. Other side. Elbow in, hands together. Breathe in, reach high. Out, look down. Release. And another time. In and up. Out and down. And now I have a feet stand. No, never exercise first. In the arms back, out in front, follow the back, in back, out in front, and back. And have the feet standing together. Intertwine the fingers behind the back, tall up, shoulders back, breathe in. Out, bring the head over to one shoulder, chin down to one shoulder, pull the hands down to the ground. In, lift the gaze, out to the other side. Chin down to the shoulder, pull down the hands. Lift the gaze back into the middle. The feet a bit to the side. The arms intertwined behind the back. Over to one side, breathe in. Out, turn the head over to the side with the hands out, chin down to the shoulder. Pull the upper shoulder in and down. Breathe in, lift the gaze over to the other side. Breathe out, chin down, pull the upper shoulder in and down. Lift the gaze back into the middle. Have the feet standing together, in the arms up. Lean back out the chest to the sky. In and up, hands together. Lean back with hands closed. In and up. Out, lean to the side. In, up. Out to the other side. In, up. Out and down. In and up. Out and down. In and up. Bring the hands to touch and down to heart center. That was the neck stretching. I thank you very much and until the next time.